That is fun music. I love this. This is the first stream we've done this year where we have the Farmcraft video to share with everyone too. Very fun. Welcome everyone. We are doing another Farmcraft live stream, Farmcraft Land Demand. I'm Claire LeBeau and I am the Chief Advancement Officer at NASEF, the Network of Academic and Scholastic Esports Federations. And we're just excited to have you here. We have a lineup of guests, as you can see, once again, some students who are going to share about their experience along with their leader, and then an expert in the world of lumber, in the field of lumber, if you will. So we will dive into that shortly. Let's keep going with introductions. Eric.
All right. Hello, everybody. I can't believe we're already about to present our final regular season challenge. These fly by every time. And I know I say that on every stream all the time. I'm going to keep saying it. But I'm Eric Leitner. I am the education content producer for Clever Lake Studios. We make the Farmcraft world that you all compete in and that you actively have access to now. So get into it. I'm a former educator. And, I don't think I mentioned this story too much this time, but one of my passions for loving Farmcraft is knowing that I've worked with so many students, especially when I was a science teacher, who didn't know where their food comes from. In fact, the very first time I surveyed students, because as the science teacher, it was like, congratulations, you're also the health teacher. I surveyed the students. They gave us the survey to give to the students. And the number one vegetable in my class was chicken. So we had a lot of learning to do. So I'm glad that the learning is continuing and it's getting more expansive. And I'm going to pass it along to Brian. And Brian's mic's not working at all. It was working so much better. And now
I had to mute, and then I had to get out of Minecraft to unmute. Hey everybody, Brian, also known as Clevy, founder of Clever Lake Studios, and I just love the opportunity to take video games that we all love to play and turn them into learning experiences, and hopefully shape bright futures for the people that are involved in these programs. So really thankful to NASEF and all the students that are participating and the experts that we have on board to make this program such an awesome experience. So appreciate it.
Excellent. And as mentioned, we do have a couple of special guests with us. Well, actually a handful of special guests with us. So let's continue the introduction with Jeremiah and your crew there.
Hey everyone, I'm Jeremiah. I'm the technology director at the Boys and Girls Club of the Umpqua Valley. It's in Southern Oregon, pretty rural, so it's fun to be participating in Farmcraft because we have a lot of agriculture here, especially lumber. To my understanding, our lumber goes all over the world because it's pretty popular. So that's where I'm coming from, and then
it's pretty popular.
And then I have my team here. We'll start with
Helene.
And then we can say, what grade are you in?
6th grade.
Cool.
Olivia, I'm in 9th grade.
I'm Bella, I'm also in 9th grade.
Great.
Nice.
Well, it's good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. And then we also have with us Marcella. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Marcella Lumber Shemansky, and I work with a group called Agriculture Advocates LLC. And we love all things agricultural, including lumber and forests. I grew up in Georgia, so our forestry is a little different, but I've worked in forestry for a large part of my career, and I'm really happy to be here, and I can't think of a pun at the moment.
I bet that they're going to come. They will come as we continue our conversation. So I think what we'll do, go ahead. Oh, Brian, I heard you take a deep breath.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought you had a pun ready for us. Okay.
No, I was queued up, but I didn't do it.
All right. So we're going to have a little conversation around Farmcraft and what it's like. But while we do that, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the Minecraft world on screen so you all can see what is happening here. And of course, Eric might jump in or Brian might jump in every now and then and interrupt our conversation and say, wait, see what we're doing here? do this, or also it's possible that they would say, don't do what I just did. So
Probably more of that. More of that.
Yeah. We're actually sort of on our last step here. You know, we were just looking at the census computer, which you should always check. And we realized the only thing we're low on still is lumber, which is kind of appropriate considering the conversation we're going to have.
Oh, excellent. Actually, before we jump into the conversation, tell us a little bit about where you are right now, because this is sort of the central point of everything.
Yeah. So this is the hub, right? This is like our town hall. This is the hub. And here we have our mini map, right? And we can see this is our food plots and our food processing plant. Nothing to process there now. Same with our cotton plots for our clothing and textiles. And we have a cotton processing plant. And finally, and Brian's doing such a good Vanna White impression over here, lumber farm over here, and our lumber processing plant. So we do have to head to the lumber farm, which is what we're going to do. I will say this. I know I'm not going to talk much. I am going to make there's Brian's face. I am going to make a crucial mistake in this, even though we've been kind of talking and letting our time tick away. Like we should be really like at it, but like our time is going to be terrible. But we're going to get to the end game scenario in this one. We're already in milestone 4. We've got one, we just have to maximize that milestone and we're done. So we know what we need to do. We got to get our lumber score up and we'll be good to go.
Get your poncho.
Okay, well, look, it's raining.
Yay.
It is. Too bad we're not growing any crops anymore. We just need lumber. Where the rain is not going to be that helpful at this point. But,
I'm over here if you need me. So teamwork.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Excellent. So speaking of teamwork, we have 3 students who participate in Farmcraft. How do you all work as a team? Are you on the same team or do you play separately? How do you do that?
We are on the same team. We usually when we play, we just do like one thing at a time with everybody because it's a lot easier to manage like a farm with multiple people keeping an eye out. But
that makes sense. How do you decide who does what?
Wow, we kind of just figured that out.
Yeah.
It happens.
From watching them a lot of the time, they'll see something and call it out and then kind of like swarm it.
That makes sense.
It's a race.
Jeremiah, I love having a Boys and Girls Club here with us because we've had lots of students from school settings, but it's a little bit different in after school. So tell us a little bit about why you like to have Minecraft and particularly Farmcraft as a program in your club.
Yeah, I think that something that we're always trying to do as a Boys and Girls Club is not be the same as a school. So we're always trying to make things like fun while still having value to it. A lot of our kids, especially like, it's the beginning of the school year, ish, or it still feels that way, come up from, I work with teens. So they're coming up from 5th grade to 6th grade. They're in middle school now. And a lot of those kids love Minecraft. Like when the Minecraft movie came out, it was like a huge deal. They're always super into playing it. So I didn't play Minecraft a lot as a kid. So something that I think is really cool about Farmcraft is it kind of like sets the like goals and like the learning stuff out for you. Like I don't have to learn all of the nuance of the game to be able to have it be a fun tool to learn stuff with.
Oh, that's cool. So for Bella and Olivia and Helena, can you tell us something that you've learned in Farmcraft?
For me personally, I know it's like how much of a responsibility that I think it's definitely not the full scope of actual like agriculture, but taking care and maintaining the things you're growing is definitely a lot more work. Like there are things you don't think about, like pests or fertilizer that I don't think I would have thought about without like learning about that through this.
I've learned that it takes so much more time than you actually think it does to grow stuff, and how to work better with a team.
Especially the trees, because the trees like barely grow. You have to wait forever. And for the actual food, it's hard because well, the bugs and pests and all that stuff, they're like there. They don't
Yeah.
go away.
So there's always a fire that you have to put out.
Right.
Yep. I mean,
It
it's
feels
just
that
You're always
Makes
running
me
around
fire
like
yet.
crazy.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a behind the scenes. When we were making all of our considerations for this season and we started talking about lumber, doing wildfires was something we actually considered as a thing you
Oh,
had
wow.
to do without, before your lumber crop got destroyed. But then we decided not to be that evil. But, it's a real world scenario. It's a real world situation. I know Brian and I live in an area where that's always a risk. So,
Yeah, here too.
Yeah, and here too. All around.
So
us.
all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that is a reality today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this might be we're talking about fire, which wipes out a forest, which is a little bit different. But Marcella, talk to us a little bit about how trees grow. And once you harvest them, like how does a forest grow back on its own, or how does that process work? How long does it take?
Well, that kind of depends on the tree and type of tree. It will grow back on its own, but it'll take a lot of time to grow back. I think many of you, you've probably seen wildfires and how long it takes to grow back. But some species, very quickly, they can grow back in 10 or 20 years. Some are going to take 30 or 60. And some even, are going to take 100 years. And that's why I'll put in a plug for controlled burning here. That would be a cost, and that's not in this game, but that's kind of a way to make sure you don't get out of control wildfires. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent. So we're in the forest right now, and you can see that a lot has been harvested. And in this game, you have to plant a sapling each time you harvest, so you're immediately replanting. But what are the economic consequences if you overuse the resources in a forest?
Yeah, so if you overused it, and you wouldn't be allowed, it certainly would change this game, and right, it'd be one and done. And so if you manage and kind of look at that as a long-term game, you're going to have all those other benefits of a forest. You're going to have lumber or timber over time. You're going to have all the other benefits that a forest can provide: oxygen, taking care of the land and runoff and stuff like that. So it's kind of benefits that we don't always see, but it's in the long term, you're going to have more from that forest.
Mm-hmm. Can you describe a little bit how does a company that is harvesting lumber, like how do they plan that? How much they're going to harvest and how much they plant and that kind of thing? What are the factors that go into that?
Well, if you're a company, it's going to be all economic factors, and if you're a landowner and you're managing, you're going to factor in, first of all, what kind of forest are you having? In the Northwest, like Oregon, it's very different than other places, or longer periods. But you're going to say, okay, am I growing paper in the South, and going to harvest in 10 years? And what do I need to do to get a good harvest in 10 years? Do I need to go in and thin? So you're looking at, just like the insects and the fields, you also have those kinds of things to think about. But you're also thinking, am I growing this for my grandkids and my retirement? So again, it's a management, and you're thinking through that. What's really cool about this game, or I would say makes it hard, is you're always having to run around, right? Because in the real life, you may just do a lot of things in the forest. You may grow mushrooms in the forest to get short-term income in somewhere like the Northwest. But in this game, you're going to have to run between the different fields. So I think you get a lot more exercise in Farmcraft.
We'll put a step counter in the next one for sure.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
You know, while we have this open, Claire, and I know look,
Mhm.
I'm getting to the point now where we have 3 trees left to harvest, and I want to give a tip. You mentioned we should like give some tips while we're doing this,
Mhm.
because it hasn't been pointed out yet. But if we open up our tablet, we said to look here all the time. We open up our inventory menu. You'll notice that I have 22 compost, right? And no one has pointed that out yet. We've been buying seeds, buying food and cotton seeds, buying saplings to replace our trees here. But compost, right? When are we getting compost? And the reality is every time we cut down a tree and we're using that tree for lumber, there are parts of it we're not using, like the leaves, and all of that is compostable, meaning we can put it somewhere where it breaks down to become nutrient-rich soil again, right? Where we can use it for nutrients in our soil. And while I don't need to do this, I'm going to return to town. I should have just used my tablet to do that. I'm going to head over to one of these cotton fields because I want to share a tip. So if they're watching, they're going to get a big tip. Right? So if I come over to the farmer here and I'm going to plant some, let's just hire some machines to put our cotton down. We'll let that happen. And we come back and we start our season. Since we have compost, if I talk to this farmer and I tell the farmer to fertilize, if I have compost, look up in the top left, it fertilizes using the compost, and that costs me $0 and has no impact on my climate score.
A freebie.
It's a freebie. So
Sort
then
of. I
you start
mean,
to
you
wonder-
had to earn it. Yeah.
I did, but that makes you wonder, like, what order do we do things in? Do I go to lumber first, maybe, to collect that so that I don't have to pay for it here? Or does that take too long and I should do this first and then run over there? Like, they have to weigh that out.
Excellent.
It's a good one.
That
Yeah.
is.
So if you've been wondering, if you've been playing and you've been wondering what that compost score is, every time you harvest a tree, you're not only getting lumber score, you're getting compost, and that compost can be used to fertilize your plots, and that reduces both your costs and your climate impact.
So this makes me wonder, Marcella, we've talked, now we're talking about, besides the lumber, you could get compost from trees. What kinds of products, you mentioned paper, what kinds of products come from lumber?
Well, from the timber itself, you could
Yeah.
get things like fruits and nuts, honey, things like that. In some parts of the world, people use the fiber to make roofs or rope. So it has a lot of different uses than just the lumber itself. I mean, the whole tree. Yeah.
And this would sort of be, I'd say, related, but not exactly on topic here. What are some alternatives to lumber? If you're in a community that doesn't have lumber, what else do people use for those products?
For paper, they use things called sisal. It's another kind of plant product. People use things like mud to make bricks, right? If you don't have lumber, in some places, it's just the only alternative you have, or where trees are very scarce. And in some places, that wood is also used for cooking. We didn't even talk about that, but many people around the world do use their forests just for cooking their food.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So-
and I've seen some other alternatives. A lot of my neighbors and things are building decks, and of course now it's all this, recycled plastic that they compress into like a fake wood board. I'm sure there are some negatives to that since it is plastic. I don't know what the environmental impacts of it, but it does mean, I guess, less wood and that they're reusing materials.
Right. Oh, congratulations.
You finished the challenge.
Woohoo!
Sorry, Brian, you're not celebrating enough over here.
I didn't do it.
Okay.
I was just here. I was a bystander. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so what are we looking at right now?
So notice our timer has stopped, which is the ticks at the top of the scoreboard, right? And we have our 50,000 population, which was our goal. I'm going to tell you right now, this is the same world we've been using for all of these. That is not a great score. You're seeing right there. We've been talking through this.
The score to
We've been
beat.
just leaving it open while we're getting ready to, do our stream and things like that. So don't use that as like, oh, we beat that, we're going to have the best score ever. Nah, you want to keep trying. But that is our submittable score. So this is where I would want to take a screenshot. And when we head to the website at nasef.org/farmcraft. That is where we're going to have our submittable score. And we're going to be using some of the numbers off that scoreboard and then also submitting this screenshot right here. I can give the tip if you're on a Windows device, since that's what I'm on, even though every device does have a way to get screenshots. On a Windows device, it is Windows Shift S. And you will get your snipping tool, which you probably can't see because it's an overlay on my screen, but this is how I can go ahead.
We see it a little bit.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yep.
Yep, and I can capture that. And I've got my screenshot.
Excellent. And we do want the screenshots submitted along with the score that you type in. So
yes, we do.
Make sure that you do that step before you decide, I'm going to beat the score I just got and start over. All right. So I'm just curious, students, you're watching. We have our two experts that are playing here. Do you have any ideas of how you might play differently?
That's us.
Yep.
Have you been taking notes?
Yes. Did you know about the compost? Did you know about that compost that was collecting over there?
Yeah, like we still got a lot of compost left.
Yeah.
We did.
We've
We did
definitely
manage.
seen it, but I didn't know what it was for.
Yeah. Now you know, free fertilizer.
You know, the best part is, I bet if you had if you saw compost here and you Googled it, right? Maybe some people did this. It might have given a hint as to what to do with it.
Right.
I think it's I didn't know it before, but if I paid attention, I think it would be like I think it's a really good part of the game. I know.
I mean, there's also the using every part of the resources, like not wasting different things. So, I mean, do you guys have neighbors that I have a neighbor who will put up like the metal wires and then just like fill it with leaves. You guys have those? They just grow trees. You have a compost bin?
I will just say, if you do have a compost bin, make sure you mix that thing up often. I've seen that failed experiment with many classes I've taught in the past. So.
So you're talking about, you were just asking about if your neighbors have anything. So let's talk about neighbors or regions. Marcella, how does trade work between different regions? Or, what is the economic picture like for lumber and for either trade or selling products from one place to another?
Well, it certainly gets traded globally around the world. And I think out of the Northwest was a big market was Asia. But, people, I would say in this game, I don't think you can collude as groups, right? So that people could specialize or groups could specialize. We're just going to be growing the lumber and somebody's just growing the cotton. But that's kind of the way the trade works, right? If you get a country or a place in a country who's really efficient at growing something, they grow that and it allows it to be a best price for others in the world. But I guess no collusion in this game, right?
Nope. You got to do a little bit of everything in this game. So you're going to learn a little bit about farming food and a little bit about growing cotton and a little bit about growing lumber.
I mean, there's a form of teamwork, but it's in a positive way, right? Like figuring out how to maximize the efficiency of the system without putting others in jeopardy.
Right. So let's get some advice from the students, because we got our tip about compost. So Helena, I'm wondering, do you have any advice that you would give, having played Farmcraft yourself, to somebody else who's playing the game?
To learn how to farm better. So if you wanted to play Farmcraft, you might want to learn how to farm before you play, because then you would have no idea if you don't know.
I think that's a good idea. Did you do any of the preseason challenges that we had?
We don't really.
I kind of set up our tech lab for like replay with that as like the goal, but we hadn't picked teams yet when we were doing the preseason stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that was one way when Eric and Brian and the team, when we're thinking about how are we going to help this, we want it to be fun, but we also want everyone to learn. And so those preseason challenges are designed to help you learn specifically about different aspects of this game by doing some research. So your advice actually is exactly what we have done in putting together those preseason challenges. So good thinking.
You were in the meeting.
Yeah.
You were there.
One of the things that we, because we're lucky to be around some like different farms, like in our summer camps last year, we went and visited a farm, and then because of Farmcraft, actually, I reached out to. We have 2 people on our board who run farms in our area, and we're gonna set up a field trip to go up to one of them.
Oh, you'll have to send us some pictures.
Oh yes, ask about the plant pests and the insect pests, and which ones are the trickiest to deal with. I'd love to hear that report.
Yeah, one of the fun things for me is also hearing about like how automated different parts of it are in our area.
And that was our whole last season. So if you didn't play last season's world, the whole goal of last season was automation.
Yeah, we really like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some elements of that one that I admittedly missed, but we had to, we have goals we want to hit on, and we want to refresh things and make things new and exciting each time. So.
Right. Yeah. Bella, how about you? Do you have advice for any other students that are playing Farmcraft?
I think you should take your resources, and especially the lumber, and use it sparingly until you actually need it for something big like housing and stuff. And then try to work as a team with the crops, as like somebody like kills pests, and then somebody like controls like the watering and planting and stuff, and have multiple people work on the pests because they're really hard to get rid of.
I like that. Clearly defined roles.
Yes.
And you've said some really good things there, and I'll highlight because we've heard from other people, like they shared their gameplay, and part of it is when all 4 teammates are together and they're all running around and clicking the things and there's no order, then sometimes there's been seasons where you can actually just lose your entire harvest because you forgot to sell it or things like that. So there's lots of understanding how the game flow works, and then understanding your role in it, just like you pointed out, like having somebody work the sprinklers, knowing when to work them, how to work them, where to go, who needs support, stuff like that is super valuable. So definitely understanding the game either individually or as a team, like noting what the right process is and then dividing up the tasks. Really smart.
And I'm going to say that's advice for inside Farmcraft. And Marcel, I'm wondering, you kind of have to balance in the real world also. So whether it's in Farmcraft or in the real world, if you're running a forest-based business, how would you balance earning money from different places, earning from food or clothing or shelter? What are some tips?
So you would definitely, if you had a team, work as a team. But you wanna again, it goes back to that balance, right? And looking at time. What can you do, and what can you do at the same time? If you have a team, you can do things at the same time. I'm hoping in this game. And what do you need to do right away as opposed to later? And then there are, thinking of compost, there are key things. Maybe you have a compost guru. I don't know. And so everybody can kind of specialize and work together. I think that's in the real world the way it works. And when everybody works toward a common goal, I guess in this case, increasing your population, then that's probably when it works the best.
Right.
Yes, and
Excellent.
you could absolutely be in different places at different times. And I will just interject because you will have it. You will go to the farmer and you will say, plant the seeds, and it will say, bleep, bleep, you need to buy the seeds first. So you could run all the way back or teleport back and get them, or you could have a teammate that's in the lobby, and you could, if any teammate buys the seeds, it goes to your group. It goes to the entire group. So the individuals don't have to buy and hold the seeds. Whatever any one person does applies to the whole team. So you could have the closest, if there's a person in the lobby maintaining the seed purchasing or keeping track of their tablets, things like that. But definitely many things could be done at once in this process. And it's something to think about as you're getting better at it. Think about how you could reduce the amount of people you need in one task so that the other people could start doing other tasks.
Yeah, it's good to start kind of quantifying things, right? Like if I know we've unlocked 3 cotton plots, then I need at least 3 seed packets before I go there, right? Like that would be like an idea. If I'm in the lumber mill, I'm not going to say how many trees are in each section of the lumber area, right? But if I know that number, because what I don't want to happen is getting out to that very last tree, which is really, really far away, and realizing I'm 1 sapling short and having to run all the way over to the lumber farmer, buy 1 sapling, run all the way back out to the farthest end of the field, and so on.
Absolutely.
Sounds like the voice of experience.
Teamwork.
By the way, Brian, while we were waiting, I did take a new submittable score screenshot. I just want to make sure this is a very acceptable screenshot.
Yes. Oh, yes.
It's flattering.
It matches your head shape perfectly.
Yes.
Yeah. Not
This
Gumby
is
at
in
all.
real life. I love it. Good thing the flash wasn't on. You would have got all that reflection off of the scalp.
I'll have to Photoshop that in a little bit later. It's fine.
There you go. The glare.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Let's see, Olivia. I think we still need your tip. We've gotten a lot of tips from your teammates, and then Marcella. But do you have any additional advice?
Do you have any other? So we heard from Helena and Bella for tips for playing. Do you have any tips for either the game or working as a team or?
Said the one I was going to say. But
I'm sorry, I put you last. That there's a danger.
it's
in that.
okay. I don't know. I guess really just I would think about how it implements into the real world. Like you're playing Farmcraft to learn about farming and how it actually like goes between both like Minecraft and like real life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
that.
I think Jeremiah is doing a great job by having those field trips where you can go out and out and see what is happening. And I've noticed for myself, even just since we've been doing Farmcraft, I'm more aware when I'm driving by, there's a little agricultural center, and I start looking, what is it? What are their crops? What are they doing? What's out in the field? Is it a machine? Are there people? All those things. Becoming more aware of it is, I think that's a fun side benefit of Farmcraft also.
Totally. I'm always out there looking for them facultative anaerobes,
If you weren't going to go there, I was. I was like,
I'm out there. I'm like, let me see how much water are you putting on those there. Yeah, okay.
All right. You're going to have to describe what are facultative anaerobes, because not everyone saw that stream, which I think was maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
That was season 2.
I am holding on to it. It blew my mind, and like the reason for the caterpillars is because around COVID time, we started a garden and our crops were being eaten and there was no accountability for it. There was nothing. And then I decided, I'm like, something is eating like just since the last time I checked. And then I peeked a little closer, and there were all these little caterpillars hiding along the leaves and the stems and totally disguised, munching away, having a blast. So I thought, wow, can you imagine if I had 100 acres of this to manage? It would be impossible. I don't know how they do it. But yeah, then we're talking about watering and climate, and there's like bacteria that can breathe. It breathes air, But if you drown it essentially and cover it in water, then it switches and starts to essentially pull the oxygen from the water. So it's breathing the water essentially, but its byproduct is like nitrous oxide. It's like significantly more impactful on the environment. The byproduct of those anaerobes switching to breathing water. And so overwatering is not only does it cause runoff of like fertilizer into rivers, which increases algae and all these other things, but it also causes these interesting byproduct of impact in the environment. Blew my mind.
Yep. And this is the thing. We love Marcella. We appreciate your being here. Every time we have a guest, we learn something new and different. And so we appreciate your input on this. And I feel like now we have a few things to wrap up.
Yes.
Eric, do you want to tell us? We've been looking at this screen for a bit. Tell us
He's waiting.
why.
We did. We're done. We did it.
Woo.
We've done it. And here's actually, I'm going to close this for a second, right? So we reach our submittable score. And with the exception of the 4 experts along the perimeter here, if I try to kind of continue the gameplay by, let's say, talking to our seed supplier, nope, they're just going to tell us, congratulations, go talk to the mayor. If I'm like, no, I have more things to process. Nope, congratulations, go talk to the mayor. I want to talk to this food field. The ground will talk to me and tell me, congratulations, go talk to the mayor.
Thank you, Dirt.
Thank you so much, Dirt. So we're going to talk to the mayor. And of course, the mayor congratulates us. I can't talk. Congratulates us on reaching our population goal and tells us how we can submit our score. So again, reminding us we need a screenshot. And then, of course, the website we've been going to the whole time is where we're still going to go. But what's great is if you forget that, you could just hit this button right here and your browser over here will open. And there we go. So totally works. And this is great, right? So it took me right to the Farmcraft page. And again, I'm glad it took us here because this is stuff we want to talk about because 1, you can still register. It's not too late. Even though this is like the last challenge, it's not too late. Get in now. There is still the team guide. So if you have all that catching up to do, it's a great thing to have. I'm talking way faster than I should.
You are.
You got them all. Yeah.
I'm excited.
He's trying to get the high score.
Right? Yeah. Words per minute. Not typed, just spoken. So you can still find the regular season challenges, of course, including Challenge 3, which is happening now. So let's read over Challenge 3 before we even get to submitting our score, because we need to submit that as well. So it is time to manage and maximize our goals. Like in the real world, farming is done best when everyone does their part to reach certain goals. And we had some experts and some expert players share with us some of their insights. So how will you collaborate and communicate with each other in order to succeed? What roles will be assigned, if any? So that was something someone mentioned, right? Was the idea of assigning roles. How will your team ensure that their strategy is the best possible road to victory, right? So now it's not only about what you were learning from it, but what are you learning amongst yourselves? What communication skills, what collaboration skills have you learned in order to be the most successful at this activity, at this challenge? Right. And you can still find, of course, the world file if you don't have it yet. So if you're new to this, it's still down here. And you can find the preseason build challenges, which are here. And Claire, I'm not seeing where to submit my score.
It's there. It's there, right under the challenge.
Did I miss it? Submit challenge.
Submit challenge. There you go. What are you? Oh, you're looking for the leaderboard.
Yeah, I'm ready to submit my screenshot. Is that going live?
The leaderboard goes live as soon as the stream is over. Yes.
So stay tuned. Yes. There's going to be a button. Tuned. There's going to be a button to upload your wonderful, amazing photo of Brian's head.
You're going to be the only one with that photo, but we do want to keep it for posterity.
I mean, I need to give him like a image for when he calls me on my phone and stuff. So this is great.
Yeah, that's me saying, Eric, what about that score? We should have a word.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
It's very disappointing score we've got here.
500,000 ticks, really?
Excellent. So that is what's going on right now. You have the challenge number 3 is live, and so we want to make sure that everyone is participating and submitting. And again, that is about maximizing your strategies. We haven't yet talked about prizes, and this is one of the favorite things I know. It is free to join this challenge, and then your team can win. So we'll see if the Boys and Girls Club of the Umpqua Valley is able to win. Then you guys will win a prize valued at $250. And then second place gets 200 and third place gets 100. And of course, we also do a random draw for all the teams who participate so that everyone has a chance to win. So please be sure that you submit your scores so you have a chance at those. And then we are, as we said at the beginning of the stream, I can't believe we're almost at the end of this season. So our next stream, we're going to be talking about winners. So you want to make sure that you are doing that work to get the challenges complete and get your scores uploaded so we can figure out who gets the prizes. So
wait, is our next stream, are we on stage for the next stream? Are we there already?
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Okay.
Get those scores submitted.
Get those going. So thank you so much, all of you, for joining us today and for sharing your insights and being part of this. And we're going to close it off one more time with this video that we have. So thanks, everyone.
Thank
and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Go and play.